C1 Quadratics Example 7. This is a similar type question to examples 5 and 6, but of the three, this is the trickiest. The reason it's trickier is that factorizing it, there's quite a few possible combinations of brackets that we need to consider. So it's a quadratic equation. We need to check it equals 0. It already does. That means we can get on with factorizing it. You might be able to just factorize this straight away, but similar to my videos in example 5 and example 6, I'm going to use the partition method. So the coefficient of x squared is 6, and the constant is minus 5. Multiply those together and get minus 30. And then I'm now going to search for two numbers which multiply to give minus 30, but add to give the coefficient of x, so they add to give 13. Those two numbers which multiply to give a negative answer, so I know one of them is going to be positive, the other one's going to be negative, but add to give 13, well, those two numbers, 15 and minus 2. They multiply to give minus 30 and add to give 13. So now I'm going to partition the middle term using these two numbers. In the previous video, example 6, I recommended that if there's a positive number, you put it second when we partition the middle term. This time I'm going to show why you need to be careful if we don't follow that advice. So I've written out the question, I've partitioned out the middle term. Let's just check we haven't changed anything. 15x, take away 2x is 13x. Yep, that's fine, we haven't changed anything. Now with this minus in the middle, I'm just going to have to be careful when I do the factorizing. So partition method, imagine two partitions, left and right, and factorize them both. So on the left, we have a common factor of 3x, leaves us with 2x plus 5. And then this minus, be very careful, looking at these two terms, all they have in common is a minus 1. So this minus comes out of both of these terms, and then in the brackets, it's going to be not 2x minus 5, but 2x plus 5. The whole thing still equals 0, so still write it down. Before we go on, let's just double check everything. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times plus 5 is plus 15x. Minus invisible 1 times 2x is minus 2x. And minus invisible 1 times plus 5 is minus 5. That checking needs to go on constantly as you do in any question like this. It can just be done in your head, but it needs to take place. Brackets are the same, that's good. So bring out these common factors, leaves us with 3x, and take 1. So two brackets multiply to give 0. If the first bracket was 0, x would have been minus 5 over 2. If it was the other bracket that was 0, x would have been a third. So two values here, x is minus 5 over 2, or minus 2.5, and x is a third. I'd recommend you don't try and write that as a decimal, leave it as a fraction.